Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and welcome back to Bochiknot Macrame, where you will find everything DIY macrame related. In this pattern tutorial, we will be going over a mini Christmas tree ornament. So we are officially in December now and only a few weeks away from Christmas, and if you guys are still looking for some Christmas activities or holiday gift ideas, then this DIY pattern may be right for you. It is a beginner-friendly pattern and doesn't take too much time to make since it is quite small, and they make for cute little boho Christmas tree ornaments. I've also incorporated pearl beads into my Christmas tree. If you guys have wooden beads or other large hole beads you want to incorporate, then go ahead and do that. If you want to skip the beads part entirely, you can definitely do that as well. That is totally up to you. For such a small project, we've actually incorporated several different knots, like the Lark's head knot, vertical Lark's head knot, double half hitch knot, fairy knot, which is actually made up of a few square knots, and then also the gathering knot. Oh, and we also made the reverse Lark's head plus half hitch knot. If you are a beginner and looking to learn more about macrame, we do recommend a macrame starter kit, and we do have one called the Cami wall hanging kit. It comes with all the necessary materials and a wall hanging pattern that teaches you the 6 basic knots of macrame. If instead you just want to get the right cord to practice off YouTube tutorials just like this, we do have a 2-for-1 cord deal, and if you're interested in either of these, you can check out the links in the video description below. Before we get started with this video tutorial, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned for more tutorials just like this. And with that, let's get started. To make this pattern, you will need some materials and supplies. I used 3mm cotton cord for this pattern, along with some large hole beads. The cord I will be using for this pattern is a 3mm single strand cotton cord from our rainbow cord line, and this is in natural shimmer, which is natural colored cord with 3 thin metallics spun through it. This cord is soft and sturdy and easy to work with. When you work with cord spun with metallics, the metallics does come apart fairly easily, so I do recommend making a knot like this at the end of it to prevent it from separating too much. You will also need some large hole beads as well. I'm using these large hole white pearl beads with a 5mm diameter hole, which is enough to fit 2 strands of 3mm cord through. To begin, we're going to take a strand of cord at 160 centimeters long, fold it in half, and on the loop end, we're going to make an overhand knot about 2 inches down. Then pin or tape down the top loop part so that it is sturdy to work with. Then taking another strand of this 160 centimeter long cord, fold it in half and attach it onto the middle right cord using a Lark's head knot. Then do the same thing onto the left cord and then repeat once more on both sides so that there are 2 Lark's head knots on both cords. With the middle 4 cords, we're going to make a square knot. With the middle 4 cords, take the far left and far right cords as working cords for 2 opposite half knots to create a square knot. Then make 2 more alternating square knots underneath with the far left 4 cords and also the far right 4 cords. Then taking the second cord from the right, we're going to use that as a working cord to make a vertical lark's head knot onto the far right cord. So take the cord and loop it behind and to the side, and then take it behind from underneath and pull it through the loop. Repeat the same thing on the left side, mirroring the right with the second cord from the left. Now taking the middle 4 cords, we're going to make a berry knot. To do that, we're going to make 2 consecutive square knots. With the first square knot, we're going to leave about 1 centimeter of space up at the top so that we can weave the middle 2 anchor cords through. Continue with 1 more square knot underneath. Now take the middle 2 anchor cords and we're going to weave them through the middle hole above the first square knot. For this pattern, we are making a mini version of the berry knot with only 2 consecutive square knots so that it doesn't stick out as much as the other berry knots made with 3 square knots. Then once weaved through, take the same anchor cords and working cords and make 1 last square knot underneath. Now taking the third cord from the right as an anchor cord, make 1 diagonal double half hitch knot to the right with the next cord to it on the right. Now taking one of the large hole beads, we're going to weave it through the far right cord. Because you're only threading through 1 strand of cord through the bead, it should thread through pretty easily. Once threaded through, taking the same anchor cord from before and then the working cord of the bead that we had just threaded through, we're going to use that as a working cord now for a double half hitch knot onto the same anchor cord. Repeat the exact same pattern on the left side, mirroring the right. So start with the third cord from the left as an anchor cord for a double half hitch knot to the left, then thread through a bead onto the far left cord, and using the same cord, make a double half hitch knot onto the anchor cord. Now we're going to take a strand of cord at 120 centimeters long, folded in half, attach it onto the far right anchor cord using a reverse lark's head knot plus half hitch. So start with a reverse lark's head knot first, then take the left cord and make a half hitch knot onto the left side, and then the right cord with a half hitch knot onto the right side. Repeat the same thing onto the far left cord. Now we're going to make 2 rows of alternating square knots right here, and then below that, make 2 berry knots. Make another row of alternating square knots underneath. Now make 2 berry knots in the center. Make 1 more with the next 4 cords to the right. Repeating the similar pattern from above, we're going to take the 3rd cord for the right as an anchor cord for a double half hitch knot to the right, then thread through a bead onto the far right cord, and then finish off with that working cord with the double half hitch knot. Repeat the same on the left side. Now attach a strand of cord at 80 centimeters long onto both anchor cords with a reverse Lark's head plus half hitch. Repeat for another 2 rows of alternating square knots here, and then with a 3rd row of berry knots. This time there will be a total of 3 berry knots. Starting underneath the far left 2 square knots, make a berry knot, then make 2 more to the right. Now repeat the same pattern as above, starting with the 3rd cord from the right, and then add on a bead and finish off with a double half hitch knot. Now add our last set of cords at 60 centimeters long, 1 on both sides with a reverse Lark's head plus half hitch. Then underneath, make 2 more rows of alternating square knots.
With the far left anchor cord, we're going to continue using that as an anchor cord for a row of double half hitch knots from left to right, but then after every double half hitch knot, we're going to include that working cord into the anchor cord group for the next double half hitch knot. And we're going to make a total of 8 double half hitch knots on this left side. Essentially, we're going to make a row of double half hitch knots using all the vertical cords on the left side except for the middle square knot. So with the 4 cords underneath the middle square knot, we're just going to leave as is. Now repeat for the same pattern on the right side using the far right cord as the anchor cord. Now taking a strand of cord at 50 centimeters long, we're going to use it as a working cord to finish off the bottom of the tree with a gathering knot. So making a loop with one end and then taking the longer end, wrap it around the gathered cords at the bottom several times, and then take the long end and weave it through the loop that we made in the beginning, and then pull on the top end to tighten the knot. Pull on the gathered cords underneath to make sure there are no scrunched up cords, and then cut off the excess working cords. Last but not least, cut off the excess fringe at the bottom. And we are now complete with the macrame Christmas tree ornament.
That concludes our mini Christmas tree ornament tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. As a part of the Christmas tree design, I really like how we added the berry knots as a form of ornament on the tree, as well as we included the pearl beads as well. Anything with texture incorporated into macrame is always a bonus for me. Let me know in the comment section below what your guys' favorite part of this design was, and let me know what you guys plan on making over the Christmas holidays. If you guys are interested in learning more intermediate to advanced macrame holiday themed projects, we did come out with several in November in our Bochiknot macrame community on Patreon. If you're interested in taking your skill set to the next level, you can check out more there on patreon.com/Bochiknot. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.